I feel like girls are always like, oh, I didn't know. I'm like, are you kidding me? It was like red flags all over the place. Like everybody knew. Like, do you kind of know, but you kind of like it?
You belong at Applebee's.
Yeah.
Like, what the f*** are you talking about?
In Japanese culture, we don't really say I love you in a relationship. I was still didn't fully understand what
the meaning is.
meaning of saying I love you to a partner.
I don't think I ever actually have been in love. And I'm not even actually convinced that the concept of love is actually real. I have deeper connections with my guy friends.
Interesting.
Like, I've never had a connection with a girl that is deep as like my boys. You know what I mean?
But I think in relationships, like if somebody's going to go out and cheat on me, for example, like I'm going to break up with them, you know? So it's not unconditional that you can do, under any conditions, you can do whatever you want to me and I'm still going to love you. It's not just the right person, but it's when you're in the right place to be able to even give that or receive that love.
I guess I'm trying to establish whether you're the crazy one or other people are.
Oh, it paints an image of him of just being an absolute horn dog.
They're ugly.
That's a huge ick. They're ugly. I'm just
Like-
instantly unattractive. Like, what do you mean? That's
Well,
the biggest ick of them all. That's
But
like
no,
number one ick.
But then I found out that he sends pics to everyone. Like every girl gets a pic.
I never had like boyfriend that I dated with him for a few months and finally become boyfriend, girlfriend type.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us and hope you continue to be a part of our family for the foreseeable future. And if so, please hit that subscribe button. I am Mohammed Malai here with my incredible co-host, Zach Evans, and our newest guest of today, Shahira and Arisa. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Welcome. Please introduce yourselves, how old you are, where you're from, what you do, so on and so forth. Shahira.
I'm Shahira. I'm from Ireland and I do modeling, a bit of acting. I have an e-commerce store and social media stuff as well.
Very nice.
My name is Arisa. I'm from Japan and I'm a model and actor and commercial talent.
And how old are you?
I'm 35 years old.
Oh, wow. You don't look it at all.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But then it's also an Asian thing.
Asian look
So,
younger. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a new question that I'm starting to ask people.
Mm-hmm.
What is the ultimate goal?
For me, just to be happy, honestly. To live a happy life, a long life, have people I love around me, be laughing, travel. That's the goal.
Okay, so then if you were to find that, what would that look like exactly?
I think eventually to have a family and just to be around people who are positive and make your days brighter. You know, to have some kids maybe at some point and just travel, see the world. I think life's so short and we put such an emphasis on like goals with your career and things like that. And I've come to a stage in my life where I just want to be around nice people and be happy. Laugh.
How old did you say you were?
I'm 32.
Right.
I left that out on purpose. I was like, I'm Shahira.
I was
I'm
gonna
from
too
Ireland.
bad,
But
we have
I just skipped over it. I was like, oh, shit.
Couldn't get passed by me.
Yeah.
So do you think that you could find that in LA?
I think it's incredibly difficult here to find romantic connections. I'm in a relationship now, but it's taken me 9 years of being here and being in bad situationships and dating around and stuff to find somebody who is great, you know. But it's taken all that time, and in the meantime, just finding fuck boys and the usual type of LA shit. So yeah, I think you can find it. It just takes a bit more digging.
All right, here's my question. So, when you are dating one of these fuckboys, right?
Yeah.
Do you kind of know they're a fuckboy?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like girls are always like, oh, I didn't know. I'm like, are you kidding me? It was like red flags all over the place. Like, everybody knew. Like, do you kind of know, but you kind of like it? Or what is the deal?
I definitely knew, but I think I was a bit of a fuck girl too. Not if that's the thing. Like, I was just enjoying being in LA, going out as well, partying. I wasn't at a stage in my life where I wanted to meet somebody or settle down or anything like that at all. So it worked for me because we just would balance each other off, you know. So we were just having fun, really. I didn't take any of it seriously. So.
I see. So you weren't even looking for relationships.
No,
so it was
I
like
wasn't.
the perfect
So-
matches then.
Yeah.
Fuckboy and then girl version of a fuckboy.
Right.
Do you at all regret spending your 20s that way?
No, I think I've had an amazing time, to be honest, especially from where I'm from, like Ireland. I'm from such a small village. So coming out here has been an amazing experience, and it was something I dreamed of my whole life. So I don't regret it at all. I love it.
So the current relationship that you're in, how long have you guys been together?
We've been together a year and a couple months, a year and a half almost, but we were on and off for a while, and now we're
On and off within that year?
within
time span?
within the year and a half, and it's only like it's recently that we've just decided like we love each other, we're going to give it 100% and really try to make it work. So
Interesting. You don't think any of those are red flags?
I definitely did, but the fact that we keep coming back to each other and we're willing to put in the work, and I think we've overcome a lot of stuff so already.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to formulate some thoughts on that, and then we'll get back to you.
Okay.
What's your dream?
goal.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the ultimate goal, but I always have my purpose is self-growth all the time. Doesn't matter my goal in my career, what's the goal in my career is, but I always put in my mind to the self-growth, always learning, whether it's in just a general life or just as a career or just as a person or in a relationship. I always want to learn things and improve myself and experience different things and be better person and feed my soul, kind of.
How do you accomplish that goal?
Huh?
How do
Sorry.
you accomplish that goal?
It's been great, I think, in any ways, in a relationship, or even though I have some experience, some perfect experience in LA, but I'm always learning, and I'm always getting to know like new thing, new culture. So as long as I'm learning something from that, it's always a good experience. And yeah, it's been an amazing experience since I moved to LA, especially.
And you said you moved to LA 6 years ago.
6 years ago, yes.
From
Japan.
Japan directly.
Yes.
So you weren't you didn't go somewhere else before. You just.
So I went to New York 2 years before I moved to LA, and I stayed there for 3 months. That was my first time coming to the US, and I didn't have visa, so I had to go back to Japan, and I decided to come back. And I just wanted to see if LA fits me better than New York, and I liked LA, so I just.
Why did you like LA better?
So I love New York also, but just the weather. If the New York is not that cold, maybe I will live in New York. But weather and nature and beach and people. Yeah.
So are you currently in a relationship?
I am, yes.
Okay. And how long have you guys been together?
We've been dating for technically 4 months. So I was in Japan this whole summer for 4 months. So we've been talking for about like 8 months, but obviously when I was in Japan we are not seeing each other, so I guess it's technically 4 months.
And within the 6 years that you've been in LA, have you had any other relationships?
Yes, I have a few relationships.
Long term or just short term?
The longest was 2 years. I don't know if I can say that because I'm not sure like which point I became like a
Single?
relationship with the person, because I was hanging out with him for 2 years total, but we didn't have like point of we put a title or like
there wasn't a specific time that you put a title on it. Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as you're concerned, when you started when you met him, it kind of, for you, it was like, okay, I want to be with this person.
Yeah, I really liked him, and he seems like he liked me, but he was saying that he doesn't want to put a title, he doesn't want to have a relationship, just in general.
And that wasn't a red flag to you?
So that was technically first boyfriend since I moved here. So in Japan, the dating culture is a little different. There is not talking time period or dating time
Dating
period.
culture is a little different. It's not toxic as fuck like here.
I mean, now I've been learning this culture, and I think it's more I don't want to say practical, but it might be better because you want to get to know the person enough to consider if you want to have a relationship.
What
or
is
not.
the Japanese culture?
So in Japan, it's typically when you ask girls out, you ask her to be your girlfriend.
From the very beginning.
Yeah.
So when you see the person, you're like, hey, be my girlfriend.
Yeah, and then you guys start dating.
Uh-huh.
Typically, especially in a younger generation. I mean, when in school, like.
And that's
younger.
monogamous, and you're exclusive at that
Yes.
very moment.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
These days, it's becoming a little bit more Americanized, I guess, especially like in Tokyo or
Sure.
some city sides.
The bigger cities.
Yeah, but in my experience, at least, I never had like boyfriend that I dated with him for a few months and finally become boyfriend girlfriend type of thing. So it was really new when I moved here and I had this situation, and I'm still learning. Like, what's the
Yeah, it's a new thing. The Gen Z made it up. It's called situationship. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, so it's
You kind of date somebody, so you have like casual sex while you wait to see maybe something better is gonna come along. And
Right.
You just kind of drag it out as long as you can. Yeah.
Right.
Not me, but like other people. Yeah.
yeah, and I also told that it's kind of LA thing. It's not exactly the same in other states.
It's like LA, Miami, New York, Las Vegas. Yeah, but if you're like Wisconsin, where I'm from, it's like not really like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's more just because here there's just so many options. There's so many beautiful
Right.
people, and there's so many people with money, and there's so many. It's like there's just so much at once that everybody's kind of looking for the next best thing. You know.
Yeah, there's always
The mentality is why
options.
tie yourself down?
The grass
When-
is always greener.
Of course. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, okay. So is the 2-year relationship that you had an American
yes,
guy or okay.
American guy,
Okay, not Asian.
not Asian.
Okay. And so why did it end?
So we were.
Aside from the fact that he probably just said we're never going to be in a relationship.
It was kind of that actually. 'Cause- so so at the beginning I kind of agreed what the way of he was thinking about this relationship. Like I'm not willing to put a title, like, and I was cool with that because at the time I was still like I was just having fun about LA, like just go like hang out with friends all the time or whatever. So, and I was just like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then we ended up hanging out for 2 years, and there was a time that he was talking about something that he was talking to his friend and talking about me. And he says, I forgot what was exactly, but he said like,
You were there.
no, I was there. He was just explaining something.
Uh-huh.
And he said, he called me his girl.
Uh-huh.
He was saying like, oh, my girl is blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, does that mean I'm your girlfriend? I don't know. So
Wait, I'm confused. You weren't there, but you overheard it?
no, he told me.
Oh, he told you
Yeah.
that he said that? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you asked him whether you are his girlfriend or not.
I didn't ask. And
Oh, you
also
didn't
there's a time that I was in Japan and one of my really close friends, Japanese girlfriend, had was in a place where my ex-boyfriend was there, and they were having conversation, and he told my friend that he really missed me and like he loves me. And then my friend told me that when I got back here, hey, he was saying blah blah blah, and he was saying he loves you. You know, it's like that sounds like at the time that sounds like really a big thing to me. And I saw him and I talked about that with him. hey, so my friend is called Rina. I was saying like, hey, Rina was talking about this, and like, oh yeah, I said that. And at the time, I was still learning about like saying I love you thing in American dating culture. Because in Japanese culture, we don't really say I love you in a relationship. And that's a big, I think that, I thought that's a big thing in a relationship. And so we talked about it, and I also told him I love you too. And then he was like he seemed kind of happy. So to me, it seems like the relationship is kind of going deeper.
Why are you saying it like a sociopath? You're like, he said I love you. So I told him that I loved him, and that made him happy.
Sorry,
Did you really love him, or were you just saying it to like?
I really liked him, and I think at the time I was still didn't fully understand what the meaning of saying I love to a partner.
What's interesting, I didn't know Japan that the concept of love doesn't exist. Because I've always felt like people have asked me like how many times I've been in love. I'm like, I don't think I ever actually have been in love, and I'm not even actually convinced that the concept of love is actually real. And sometimes I think that it's just gullible people falling for some kind of like chemicals mixing in their brain, and this combination of like lust and like some sort of like trauma bonding that happens with people, and then we're in love, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can be just chemistry, or it can be just your feeling at the time, or I'm still learning that too. I don't think I'm not sure if I really fell in love with someone in that way.
Okay, so if you don't believe in the concept of love, then do you also not believe in the concept of happiness, sadness, anger, and horniness?
No, of course those exist.
Yeah, they're all feelings chemically being induced where your brain feels a certain thing and it's named something, no?
Yes, but love, the way people describe love, is some kind of magical, mystical, this person, it's my soulmate, it's the one person for me. I could never experience this emotion with any other people. And I'm like, I've never had that.
Have you
ever
thought that you were in love at the time, and it's only with hindsight you're like, no, I wasn't?
Yeah, this is why I don't believe it. Okay. My first girlfriend, I said I love you. Really thought I loved her, right? And then we broke up, started seeing this other girl. I was like, oh my God, I feel the same feeling I felt before. And then we broke up, and then I started dating another girl. Oh my God, I feel in love again. I'm like, wait, I think I'm just horny. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's love. I think I just like, I've never felt these feelings, sexual feelings before, and now I feel them. Oh my God, this is so crazy.
But do you not get past a point in the relationship where it's not just horniness anymore, and it's like a deep connection with like a best friend, almost like a deep connection with the person?
Yes, but I have deeper connections with my guy friends.
Interesting.
Like, I've never had a connection with a girl that is deep as like my boys, you know? And I don't mean that like in a gay way at all, you know what I mean? I just mean like me and my boys, like I tell them everything, like I feel like I could talk to them for hours, you know? Whereas like I've never had like that level, which I think is just because you build those bonds from like common goals a lot of times, and usually with guys I have more common goals than I do with girls, you know? Here's the other thing that sketches me out. Okay, so if you want to find out if something's real or not, you should ask the people who have the most experience with it, right? So if you ask married people, like, how do you know you're in love, right? There's two types. There's the married people that are like maybe like 30, 40, right? And they'll say something like, yeah, I know I'm in love because every morning when I look into her eyes and the sun is shining, I just know. And I'm like, that sounds like bullshit to me. That sounds like you saw it on a Disney movie and you're just regurgitating this memorized response. Now, if you ask people who are like 80 years old, what is love? They're always like, love, it's hard work and sacrifice. And I'm like, that shit sounds like it sucks. Like you're making love seem like it's like this horrible thing that you have to like sacrifice, and it's like hard work and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, I could love anybody if all I have to do is fucking sacrifice my whole life and just hard work and fucking grind it out. Like, of course, like I could love a rock, you know?
You're mixing concepps. And then you're just putting it on in a bowl, and you're calling it one thing, and just that's not what it is. You sacrifice for relationship. The love that you have for the person has nothing to do with the relationship. They're just two different things. They're not mutually exclusive. You could still love somebody and not be in a relationship with them.
But in that case, I just love everybody. I love my friends. I love guys. I love girls. I love my mom. Like, it's all the same. It's like, yeah, I guess love exists if that's what you consider love.
Well, there are levels to it, sure. So is happiness. It's like, okay, so the happiness that you feel if you won the lottery would be a different kind of happiness if you, I don't know, got like a gift on like Valentine's Day that was just like a flower. It's a different kind of happiness because there's a different kind of chemical response that goes through your brain.
Yeah, the lottery, I'd be super fucking happy. The flower would be bored. Like, why did you give me a flower? I don't fucking want this thing.
Right, but precisely my point. There are different feelings because there are different levels to it. You played at sports, yes?
Yeah.
You ran track.
Yeah.
So, did you ever win?
Of course.
Okay.
All the time. What do you mean?
Okay. So, did you ever lose?
Yeah, once in a while.
Okay. So you felt a certain sadness when you lost, and you felt a certain happiness when you won. And the thing about that type of a happiness, especially if you're in front of a crowd, like depending on what level you played, if you played in college, would be different than when you play in high school, for example. Right? If you're playing professional and you're in front of hundreds of thousands of people, there's a certain level of happiness when you, for example, score a goal if you're playing football. Not the fake football, the real football. So, but do you understand what I mean?
So you're just saying it's just a different level. You're saying love, true love. Okay. You're saying true love and love are the same emotion. True love is just higher up on the gradient curve.
Well, there's conditional love and there's unconditional love.
Unconditional love doesn't exist.
And exactly, that's what you believe because you've never experienced it. And you're the type of person who needs to experience something in order to understand it.
No, I need to experience something to know that it's real, and not just somebody bullshitting me. Of course.
Well, real and understanding to you are the same thing.
Okay, what do you guys, when you say love, okay, if you're like, I'm in love with somebody, like, what do you mean by that?
It's the person that you want to, like, you miss if you're away from them. You have the best time when you're with that person. I don't know, you get all in your feelings. You know, I never get bored of my boyfriend. I always like being around him. I'm never like, he's annoying me or anything. With other people, I like to take my personal space. We still take personal space away from each other, but I'm very much like, I like to be on my own sometimes because people would just start to bother me after a while. Mm-hmm. But with him, he never really bothers me. It's like we're just there together. Like we're like a team, you know, like
you're compatible.
Yeah, we're very compatible. Mm-hmm. And we can even be in silence together. It's fine. It's very, very comfortable. And as soon as he's away, I miss him. And yeah, what was the question again?
Yeah, what is your definition of love? So that, essentially.
Yeah, that essentially. But I always think in romantic relationships, I don't have unconditional love for somebody. I think maybe I have that for my mom and my sister and my family. But I think in relationships, like if somebody's going to go out and cheat on me, for example, like I'm going to break up with them. You know, so it's not unconditional that you can do under any conditions, you can do whatever you want to me and I'm still going to love you. If you fuck up the love and trust that I have for you, then I will cut it off.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you say unconditional love as if it's a real thing.
It is. Because she just said that she had that for her family. So you could have it. It just depends who you have it for.
But okay, so do you have unconditional love for anybody?
Yes.
Okay, so if that person shot your mom in the head, you would still be like, oh, I love them. Would you be like, what the fuck? Like,
no, see, the problem is now, again, mixing emotions. I could feel anger, sadness, and madness, and all these other things, but that doesn't creep into the one feeling that I still will have, regardless of what happens. The problem with conditional love, and the question that you're asking, is that you're trying to add these conditions to suggest that the love that I have is conditional. But the reality of it is Just because somebody does something wrong, it doesn't take away the feeling that you could have towards them. Now, if it does, then that means that it is conditional.
Yeah, I just don't believe that you would actually still be in love with somebody.
I know you don't.
Maybe. I think you think you do, but I don't think if it actually happened, you would.
If my mom shot somebody in the head, I'd still love her.
But not shot somebody, but like shot somebody you love in the head, you know?
Yeah. I still would. I would be like, what? I'd be really angry or really hurt or whatever it is, but I'll always, like, you know, that's my family. I'll always love her unconditionally. I think in romantic relationships, for me, it's different anyway. But if someone cheats on me, for example, it's not that I automatically switch off my feelings and won't love them anymore. I'll be really hurt and everything, but I would definitely cut off the relationship, and then hopefully after a couple of months I'll start to feel better and I'll get over it, you know. But that's why I don't think it's unconditional in romantic partnerships.
I've never experienced that.
Yeah.
That if someone cheated on me, I'll just be like, oh, I still love you, but...
Yeah, no, me either. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I see.
Well, if you believe that unconditional love and, you know, finding your soulmate, if one exists, is a rarity, then by that definition, most of the people that you're going to come across are going to be people that you're not going to be soulmates with, and you're not going to have unconditional love towards.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's interesting because when you're talking about these feelings, right? Every single one of these feelings have a meaning that we have accepted as society. And so to try to dig in and take out concepts is just because you haven't felt it would also, it might suggest that you would never feel it because you're so against it to begin with.
No, it's just, you know, people say, oh, you haven't found the right person. Oh, blah, 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 blah. But
which is very much possible.
Bro, maybe. I mean, look, I'm 32 years old. I probably met, I don't know, 100,000 people in my life. I just never met the right person. It's possible.
It's not just the right person, but it's when you're in the right place to be able to even give that or receive that love. You know, I think when I met my boyfriend that I have currently, I was also ready to find a boyfriend. You know, I didn't know that in my head. I wasn't out searching for a boyfriend, but I was in a place where I would be happy to be in a relationship. Whereas before, I didn't want a boyfriend. I was like you. I was happy being single. Didn't really want a boyfriend. Didn't want to be tied down. And then when he came in my life, he just happened to come in my life at the right time as well. Mm-hmm. So maybe at some point it's not just the right person, but you'll be in like the right time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So this boyfriend that you had.
That I have now?
The 2 years. No, the 2 year one.
The 2 years one.
So you guys don't have love in Japan.
We do, but we don't say it.
Do you say it to your family? Or?
No.
So how do people exchange that feeling?
So I think people are more likely to show their love in their action more than putting in the words.
So what would somebody have to do in order for you to realize that they have that feeling towards you?
In a romantic relationship? So we don't say I love you, but we say I like you a lot, which is it sounds like more casual, but in Japan there's like, if you say I like you, that means you have a feeling for them. But if you say I really like you, you have more feeling for them. And I think that's the highest. Some people occasionally say I love you, but it's not really common. Mm-hmm. But but we use words to express that love. But other than that, so what I was saying, that the difference of not expressing the love on actions more than words is coming to more like a family situation, or like just in general. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you tell this guy you love him too, and then he says, "Okay, great." You think you thought he was happy about it.
So the conversation was actually on what was that? So I still don't know if I understood what he was trying to do in the right way. Because also at the time I was not able to speak English well. So it took me time to like, always took me some time to you know, have a
properly.
Communicate. But anyway, so I thought we are getting more deeper, more than just I just want to have fun, like just not put a title thing. And then the pandemic hit, and he kind of started to acting like more dry, like he less texting or like less calling, try not to see me, the type of thing. And I asked him like, hey, I see kind of like difference compared to how we were before. And then he said like, oh, that's why I didn't want to put like title, or like I didn't mean to have any like relationship with you, and we ended. That's how we ended. I guess I just assumed that we were getting deeper because I didn't have clear conversation about that with him. So, and also I was still learning this dating culture here. So, it was really shocking for me because I didn't expect that he's gonna say it like that. So I just got shocked, and I just ended, like, I was not like pissed off, but like really disappointed. And,
yeah. So now when you start dating people, do you, like, how long does it take you until you're like having a serious conversation and say, yo, where we going?
Yeah, I feel like about like a few months, like 3 months.
2 to 3
It
months.
also depends on how often you see the person. But if you hang out with them like once in a week,
right,
3 months, to me 3 months is kind of enough to consider having relationship. It's not like getting married, so yeah, to the next step. So
interesting. Okay, so Shahira, you said that you had some toxic relationships before.
Yeah.
What are some of those stories like?
God. To be honest, I feel like even the one I'm in currently, I'm not calling it toxic, but we've had definitely toxic patterns that we've had to break out of, like the games, and like I said at the beginning, we were very on again, off again type of thing. But what exactly do you want to know?
I mean, any crazy stories that you've had? Well, I guess I'm trying to establish whether you're the crazy one or other people are.
Oh, well, I've never like slashed any tires or anything like that. But I don't know. I think in LA, most relationships are toxic that you get in here, because especially if it's a situationship rather than a relationship and the boundaries aren't there, people are just fucking around. And yeah, I mean, I've been in a lot of situationships with a lot of players essentially, so it hasn't been the easiest ride, but I didn't care at the time either, so it's not like it was like deeply hurting me or anything, because I was also just having fun in LA and enjoying my life. So
if I ask your best friend, is she your best friend?
She's one of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go to her if you don't answer this question honestly. If I ask your best friend what your red flags are.
In me?
Yes.
I think that I'm really stubborn. What else? What are my red flags, Aisling? You don't think none?
Did you say none?
That's a good friend.
They're almost too nice.
Oh.
This is a job interview. My biggest weakness is I care too
I
much.
just have a big heart, you know.
My heart is too big.
What do you consider a red flag in a guy?
Okay, so I hate when you go on Instagram and their names are under like every girl's pictures, like liked by, and then you'll see the same name again and again and again. I absolutely, like, there was a guy before who I was kind of interested in. He asked me out, but then I started to notice that, and it was like a red flag and an ick at the same time. It just turned me off him completely.
But he's single. Why? I don't understand.
Because it would even be like, you know, it's not just the Instagram models or whatever. It'd be like Sarah, my neighbor, like, this is a random. And I'm like, how the hell does he even know her? Like, it's every girl. Like, I'm like, he's under everything. Like, how do you even have time to be doing that, you know?
No,
Like-
literally, like if I meet a girl, it's kind
Yeah.
of the same thing. And I see we have like, oh, like 24 mutuals.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, that means she's in the same fucking crowd
The
as me,
same
which
scene.
is not, which is not a good sign.
Yeah, dang.
Well, it's not a good sign because of you, not because of her.
Yeah,
Well,
damn.
you're right. I mean, you're right,
He's
but
like,
it's still not a good sign.
I hang around with hooligans, so.
Yeah, you want to hang out with the degenerates? I guess you're one of us too.
Yeah.
But I just think that's a little. That's like, it's like fabricated red flag.
What's that mean?
Like you've made it up because it bothers you, but
Yeah.
but logically it doesn't really like I understand the perception is that he is. I mean, he's a straight man who likes women. Like I
Right.
just don't understand like what do we expect to do exactly? Just like not like okay, so like the thought process is what exactly? Like people who don't like the women's posts
Right.
are what?
It's not that they don't. It's more so that it just seems like he's trying it with everyone, you know. And you want to feel like if somebody's pursuing you, they actually like you and they want to.
But see, that's what I'm
Thank you.
saying.
You know what
That's
I
why
mean?
I'm saying that it's fabricated. It's one of those things that it's like because you see it, therefore you feel it. Whereas, you know, when they say ignorance is bliss,
Right.
like if you don't know
Yeah.
what the guy's past is, therefore it hasn't happened.
But he's kind of putting a thing out there that he's for the streets, you know. He's putting that image out there that
But everybody is.
he's attainable by everybody. Because it's not just the
Well-
Instagram models, it's the next door neighbor, it's the girl from the store. You're like, this guy likes
See,
anything he'll.
The
you know.
difference between men and women is that for us, if we go out to a club, right, it's not like we're constantly getting hit on, right? So we have to be the one who approach women, right? And chances are that if you're approaching just one person, your success rate is a lot lower, right? So if you approach 10 people, you might get one. Whereas for women, it's the opposite. If you walked up to 10 men and you were like, hey, do you want to go home with me?
They're like, yeah.
Every single one of them would say yes. If I walked up to 10 women, I'm not going to have the same success rate. I just won't. It doesn't matter who it is. Fucking Brad Pitt could go up to 10 women. And if he wasn't Brad Pitt, he wouldn't have the same success rate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for us, it's like we have to fish, right? You just throw the thing.
So the likes are the fishing.
And then yeah, exactly. So and then you just see like which one comes up.
Then it's just like you're such a horn dog, you know, like.
But that's just the reality of being the man.
Yeah, I know, but
It has nothing to do with being horny. He just it's like, okay, what is he supposed to do? What would you have done if you were a man?
What would I have done if what?
Yeah, if you were a man, what
If
would
I
you
was
have
a
done?
man, I don't know. I understand liking the picture if you actually like the picture, you know. but
Maybe he does actually
maybe
like the
he
picture.
does, but like I
Well,
feel,
I'm sure he does like it.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's a red flag, a personal red flag. I don't. Now that you say it like that, I don't know exactly. I can't tell you like why it is, but I just feel like it paints an image of him of just being an absolute horn dog and somebody that very attainable. Anyone can get them. You know what I mean? Rather than someone who's actually interested in, and you don't have, I know if you're not exclusive and everything, you're going to be interested in multiple people anyway. It's not like you want to be the chosen one, you know. But
So you want your man to seem unattainable, no pun intended.
or just have higher standards, you know.
So only like the super hot girls post.
or
not like the
no,
next door neighbor.
no. That's
So
not
if
what
he
I
hadn't liked the
No,
neighbors,
that's not what I
Don't
meant.
like the ugly girls post.
What I meant by that is just you're like, Jesus, how does he know her too? Like, you know what I mean? It's like everybody.
so is the neighbor's girl like not good looking or
No,
like,
no,
what's up?
it's not. That's just an example, but it's just like, how do you're everywhere, you know? Like,
If
how are you everywhere?
I mean, I totally understand why that would make you feel that way.
Yeah.
Because it would probably make me feel the same thing. You wouldn't feel that way? You start talking to a girl and then Claudia was like, oh yeah, she was DMing me yesterday.
Yeah.
And then Sid was like, oh yeah, she keeps commenting on all my pictures.
See,
You would
my-
kind of feel like, oh
Yeah.
man.
But my problem with people's feelings and how they feel about things is that you could feel a certain way. Sure, everybody feels a lot of different things, but it's the logical aspect of why you're feeling it and understanding why you're feeling it and processing that emotion and saying, am I being reasonable or not? And majority of the time, people who feel whatever the fuck it is that they're feeling, they just throw it out there as if accept how I'm feeling because it's valid, and it's not fucking valid.
But do you ever just get an ick and then you don't like them anymore from something that maybe isn't valid, but it just made you feel that way?
Like
sure, but I question these thoughts in my mind.
That's not an ick.
What do you
They're
mean?
ugly.
That's a huge ick.
No.
They're ugly. I'm just
Like-
instantly unattractive. Like, what do you mean? That's
Well,
the biggest
yeah,
ick of them all. That's
but
like
no,
number one ick.
But an ick is when you get turned off someone that you are attracted to because they did something stupid. You know, like you were attracted to somebody, you're kind of interested in them, but then you see them under all the comments and all the likes, and then you're like, I don't like them anymore.
I see.
Like there was this guy in LA, and he was hot, he's successful, whatever. But well, firstly, I hate dick pics anyway. I don't want to be sent a unsolicited dick pic.
I don't think nobody does.
No, but then I found out that he sends dick pics to everyone. Like every girl gets a dick pic, and that I was just immediately turned off and would never look at him the same again.
So he sent you a dick pic.
Yeah, and I don't want a dick pic anyway. That's already an ick as it is.
And this is a guy who you were dating.
No, a guy who before I would have been interested in.
Oh, I see.
But then him sending me the dick pic was like, I don't really like this. And then to find out he just does that. He just throws it around there to everyone. I was like, that's gross. Yeah.
That's interesting though, because he's a successful guy.
Right, yeah,
and
yeah.
he's maybe rich. Maybe he has good looking.
Yeah, he is good
But
looking.
like what? Because it kind of makes me feel like maybe because he's confident about that thing, but other thing he's kind of having insecure about something. But
Something else.
But did he have like a really nice
I mean,
dick? Like,
yeah, he actually does
great
like...
lighting, great angles, artistic. Not
Yeah.
just like, oh, here's my dick, but like,
I think
here's my dick in a great angle with a great background. Was it like that?
Yeah, I think he's since become pretty popular on OnlyFans, so I guess he's...
That's what he does.
likes
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
that's what it is. Maybe he's trying to get subscribers.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
Yeah. But this is before OnlyFans. This was a long time ago. But.
Yeah.
You know, Zach dick pics are in like a bouquet of flowers.
He's like,
And it
angled
just
it
like
right.
pops out.
I got really excited once the iPhone had the 0.5 mode. If you're an Android, you're too poor to understand what I'm talking about. But the 0.5 mode, it zooms the screen out, and finally I could fit my entire dick in one picture. Before that, I would have to take like 3 different ones, and then they would have to piece
You
them
crop
together.
them
in the
together.
background. Yeah.
It was like a
It was so
puzzle.
annoying. It was- yeah.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
still smaller. I remember.
That's actually funny. You know what's funny? I just
Sometimes I'll do panoramic mode.
you know how there are these websites that you
That
could send
stretches
them.
it.
You can send them. You
You're
can send them a
lying.
photo, and then they'll make like a puzzle box for you.
Yeah.
So where you can send them a dick pic, have a puzzle box made, send somebody a gift.
The ultimate dick pic. The ultimate. And you gotta work
Have
on
them
it.
put it
Build the
together.
puzzle. Yeah. And then once they figure out what it is, that would be hilarious. Actually, that's a great business idea. It is. Yeah. The other one I was thinking of, they should have. Have you guys ever heard of this thing called Facetune?
Yeah.
It's what all you guys use to pretend that you're hot.
What do you mean, you guys? You probably use it too.
Of course. What do you mean? You gotta stay competitive. What if they had dick?
Gotta catch up.
What if they had dick tune, bro? Would you use it? You could add like
You
a
could
I've
face,
never-
no, wait, what,
I
you could
never
Facetune
take
your
dick pics.
dick.
with Facetune,
Yeah, why not?
like with the Facetune app.
Yeah.
No way.
What do you mean?
Is there a setting for the dick? I thought it was just
No,
your
but
face.
you can
No, you
face
just-
I've never actually
anything.
used Facetune.
You
I
just
was joking.
stretch it. You know how girls like make themselves thinner
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah,
make
yeah,
their
yeah.
ass bigger
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
tits
yeah.
bigger and all
Yeah.
that stuff. You could do the same thing with your
Actually,
dick.
I know a girl who says she got sent a dick pic, and then on pictures on the iPhone, if you like, I don't know if you hold
This
down.
lazy motherfucker didn't even change the settings in there.
No, it said Facetune on the dick pic, so he had Facetuned his dick.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
He took
That's
all the
crazy
pimples
stuff.
off, the herpes pimples off.
Yeah, or made it bigger, or I don't know,
Yeah,
wider.
Yeah.
What's your biggest insecurity?
Oh damn. Like physically or personality or
Both. One of each.
I don't like my legs really for physical
Mm-hmm.
because I'm short and I hold my weight in my legs.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my biggest physical insecurity. My other than that, I guess being cheated on now that I have been in the past is a huge insecurity of mine, or just trust as well.
Do you ever think to yourself that, have you ever met somebody who looked at your legs and was like, you have amazing legs, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I have.
And that doesn't change your perspective on how you feel about it personally?
Well, some days I feel great, and other days I feel like, oh, I hate them, I'm gonna cover them up, you know? So it just depends.
Interesting. And having been cheated, how many times have you been cheated on?
Just in one relationship.
Just one?
Yeah.
One once?
No, a couple of times.
One couple of times?
Yeah.
You didn't end it the first time around? Or did you not know?
The thing is, everything's like situation, like it's, it was like one of these situations where we got in an argument and the words "it's over" is said, but you're not properly over, and then that night
you were on a break.
Yeah, we were, Ross and Rachel,
yeah,
we were on a break type of thing. So it wasn't really ever black and white cheating to be able to be like, that was cheating, you know.
But now you do consider it cheating.
I do consider it cheating, yeah.
So you are very Rachel.
Yeah.
But he got you on the technicality.
Yeah,
you
the
lawyer it up, he'd be like,
that's technically this,
yeah.
But that's the only reason we ever like got back together and stuff, because if
but you never got over it.
No, and I think it developed a lot of trust issues that I never had before as well.
Right.
So that's probably my biggest insecurity now.
So why is it that you consider it cheating?
Well, in the end, okay, because we went through a situation where we would have bad arguments and then he would do something, you know. So in the end, we made a rule where it was like, if we break up, for the breakup to be like real, we're going to give ourselves a 2-week rule where we're not going to hook up with anyone for 2 weeks until we're sure that this relationship is over. Because we'd fight for a few hours, it's over, and then we're back together a couple of hours later type of thing. So on the last occasion, it was that we had that rule in place, that promise to each other and that rule in place. And he still did it anyway within a few hours, same thing. So that's why I considered it cheating.
Because you had that agreement.
Because we had that agreement, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's understandable. You know, when you make an agreement with somebody, you have to.
Especially considering the history of the relationship, where we'd get in an argument, we'd say break up, but it wasn't a real breakup. And also with that rule, we agreed that if we broke up in the future, we'd sit down like calmly and actually be like, okay, this is forever, like this is actually for real, like this is over now. It's not just an argument, we're mad at each other type of thing. And that conversation wasn't had either. So
it sounds like you've been in a lot of on and off relationships.
To be honest, the relationship I'm in currently is the one that's been the most on and off. Other than that, I've had long-term relationships actually in the past. But
that you weren't on and off with? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Except for the situationships, obviously. In LA.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Arisa, what is your biggest insecurity?
I think right now is afraid of getting hard again.
Of getting hard?
Getting hard in a relationship.
Getting hurt.
Getting hard. Sorry, my English.
It's okay.
So the last.
I was just thinking you're not capable of getting hard, so I don't know what you're
Damn.
So I used to not having the problem insecurity before, but because of my experience dating with guys since I moved here, and then has some not only the 2 years guy, but after that I have some relationships, and the last time I had a boyfriend was 2 years ago, and how we broke up was really heartbroken, and it took me kind of a long time to get healed. And I think I'm healed from the experience now, but I feel like as I'm getting into a new relationship now, I feel like sometimes I still have a little bit of insecurity, the fear of am I gonna get hard again? And yeah, so
if you could go back in time and not be with some of these people, would you?
If I, for example, someone any of guy that I have dated before ask me to have a relationship again, I wouldn't.
No,
Wouldn't know
but
it.
if you could go back in time
Uh-huh.
and you have the knowledge of today, you know everything, you know exactly what's going to
Right.
happen, and you show up to 6 years ago, okay, and it's 2017 again, and all of a sudden you're like meeting these same people and they're
Yeah.
asking you out. They have no idea, but you know.
Right.
Would you date them?
I would still date them, but I would definitely have a conversation about that thing.
So you would still go through these experiences.
Yeah.
But you would change how you approach these experiences.
Yes, definitely. I
Interesting.
feel like there was some time that I was emotionally attached to the person. And I think that's why it was painful when I broke up with them. But I was emotionally attached to the person before I made sure that he has the same direction as a romantic relationship, because it just made me realize there is difference of what they want in a romantic relationship. Like, even though if I'm dating with the person, it doesn't mean that they want to have a committed relationship or they want to get married soon or they want to have kids. It doesn't mean like that. So now I know that now, so I would have conversation with them in the early stage of dating period, so that I can consider if I can go forward with this person.
Well, the biggest problem in dating culture is that majority of the time people go into these experiences being afraid of having very serious conversations. So one of the easiest ways to avoid getting heartbroken or being cheated on or, feeling stupid is to talk about your core values on the very first date. And just get that out of the way. Realize that the person that you're trying to date and be with fits the same criteria that you're looking for. Your core values are the same. Because if they're not, then there's no point of moving forward. And,
Right.
And so because majority of the time people go into it having the desire to just having something casual and then see how it goes. And then once it goes to a point where they're like, oh shit, I start to have feelings for this person. So now let me see where I'm at. But in reality, you just kind of were fucking around to begin with. But then now somebody's getting hurt because
Right.
everybody avoided to have that serious conversation from the get-go.
Yeah, I kind of disagree though, because I think a lot of relationships start out as, oh, we're just getting to know each other. Oh shit, you're actually really dope. Oh, actually, I really like you after 2 months of hanging out. That can happen.
Sure.
Whereas
Yeah.
if you ask them on the first date, oh, you want to be serious? What is your values? They're gonna be like, this fucking nerd. Never talk to you again.
But that's
And then you missed out on this great
But
opportunity.
if you are looking for, but see, that's what it is. If you are looking for a serious relationship and you are somebody who's mature, and I meet somebody who's emotionally immature and says exactly what you just said, I'd be like, you're obviously not ready for a serious relationship, so fuck off. Why would I have to waste my time to teach you how to be mature? That doesn't make any sense to me.
So you're just gonna find a girl who's already mature?
Isn't that the whole point?
I feel like that's gonna be a tough wall to climb.
It is a tough wall to climb.
Who has the same goal
Core values, yes. And
in
goals.
a relationship?
Yes.
Getting
I don't
married
know,
or
but
having
I
kids?
think
kind of-
too, we're attracted more just based on looks, right? We see a girl, okay, she's really hot. Oh, let me find out if she has good values. That's all we need. If a girl's hot and she's honest and cool and we vibe, whatever, we're good. But I think girls need more time because they're more attracted based on personality, confidence, character, all this stuff that takes a long time to figure out.
No, it's because they just don't know themselves well enough in order to figure out what the other person's deal is. If you don't know yourself, you're not going to be able to figure out the person who's sitting in front of you needs and wants.
No, but didn't you just say the guy you're dating is yeah, at first we're just kind of messing around, and then I was like, oh shit, I actually like this dude. The more I get to know him, and the more.
That's exactly what happened with us. Like it was a drunken hookup, to be honest, the first time. And I don't suggest like that's how you should find or start a relationship. I feel like this situation is like the exception to the rule, that it worked out in the end. But it was I didn't go into it thinking anything, and then bit by bit we just got to know each other more and more. And then
you just got lucky because you were coming out of your fuck girl phase and he was coming out of his fuck boy phase.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just a coincidence.
Yeah, coincidence.
So reality of it is, if they met somebody else who was in who wanted to be in a committed relationship, that wasn't going to work. Either of them.
I don't know. I think you're wrong. But...
I just want to say you're wrong.
I've got nothing to say but you're wrong.
I just want to say you're wrong. All the time.
I disagree.
All the time I hear girls say, oh yeah, like this guy, I met him, like I wasn't even into him at first. And then like, now I'm in love with him. Like I hear it all the time.
Let's talk about these girls that you're speaking of.
Yeah.
Which one of them do you consider mature? Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. Like, what is maturity really?
Zach, you know what maturity is. Stop bullshitting me.
Like, what girl's gonna come up to you and like, hello, like, let's talk about our core values. Like, what?
I didn't say look
it's
for
it's like a weird conversation to have. I'm like the first meeting somebody.
Yeah. Okay. It's not an interview.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
You don't sit there going, "How's it going? Welcome. What's your core values?" That's not how the conversation goes. You obviously have to flow into it with some sort of an understanding of in a way where you're starting a deep conversation, where then it leads to having that conversation. The person has to be receptive to having a deep conversation. If you meet somebody who wants to talk about fucking I don't know, like your Instagram feed and like the Kardashians, last week's episode, and it's just like, you're like, oh, okay, well, this is obviously not going to go any deeper than the surface level bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen girls fall hard for guys.
I'm not saying I'm not saying they won't. I'm saying those guys that they fall hard for. What happened at the end? Did those relationships last? Was it toxic?
Yeah, no, but it's usually the guy ending things with a girl.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Because they fell for the guy, and the guy was like, yeah, no, this is not going to work. Because their core values weren't the same.
But I'd rather be on that side of the equation than the other side.
I'm sure you are.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
I know.
That's why you're not accepting this. Because to you is like, oh, I don't want to take the chance of like this fucking blowing up in my face. I rather just like I know what I know, which is like, oh, like let the girl fall in love with me, and I'll be like, fuck you, and I'm out.
No, it's not like that. But it's like, I don't like, okay, let me ask you guys this. Most of your exes or guys you've dated in the past, did they play games at the start of the relationship? A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't. It depends on how you what's the definition of playing game.
Like, you're not sure, is he into me? Is he not?
Oh,
or is he talking
actually,
to other
no.
people? No?
No, not the people I've been in relationships that have become an actual tangible relationship. No, that we haven't really played games. But with people who I've been in situationships with, like, of course.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time I don't play games, girls like just don't like me that much.
Yeah.
And then every time I play games, it's like, oh, now she likes me.
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's the chase.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to play games.
Yeah.
I wish I could just not play games and I could just like, hello, I'm Zach. I like you. Let's good dinner. You know,
I want a guy to be obsessed with me. Like, I want them to, like, I don't want, if somebody was playing games with me in terms of like making it seem like they're not that into me, I would just not be into them anymore.
So like, for example, the guy you're dating now, right away, like he was just like, oh, I'm so into you, blah, blah, blah. Here's some flowers on our first date, blah, 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 like all that shit.
No, because our situation was different where it started as just a hookup.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that also probably made you like him more.
Well,
maybe not,
I just wasn't
know.
looking for anything either, but bit by bit we got to know each other, and then our values did align, and then we had the same sense of humor, and then we started enjoying hanging out together, and then it just developed from there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. I guess the reason I say it is like, every time I hear a story let's say there's a breakup, right?
Mhm.
If I'm talking to one of my friends who's a girl and the guy broke up with her and she's all heartbroken over it and she's like, so you can tell she's still in love with this guy, right? It's always like, oh yeah, this guy's a fuckboy. He's playing games. He's doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you say you don't like it, but you're like talking about it so much, it makes me feel like you're still in love with him. And that's why you're so upset about it.
Right.
Versus every time it's the girl breaking up with a guy, it's always, he's the most amazing guy. They talk
Didn't work out. Yeah.
wonders about this guy. He's
Yeah.
such a great guy. He treats me right. My family loves him. And then it's like, wait, but you broke up with him?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. And I'm like, so in my brain, living in reality, I'm like,
You're
so
wired to think they like the games type of thing.
well, I'm not even wired to. It's just reality. It is
Yeah.
what it is, you know?
I guess it depends on the girl as well. So.
Every single one of those girls will realize at some point that they made a mistake.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
I don't know. I see girls making this mistake over and over.
Well, yeah,
And they will be mid-mistake, and you will tell them it's a mistake, and they'll still do it. Like, it's one thing making a mistake if it's like, let's say you like, I don't know, you're like robbed a store when you're like little, right? You're like, you went to Walmart, you like stole some candy. Your mom's like, what are you doing? You can never steal candy again. You're like, I'm sorry, Mom, I made a mistake, right? Then the next week, you're like really hungry. You really want some Skittles. Boom, you rob the store again. Your mom's like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm so sorry, I made a mistake. That's a mistake. But then if you're in the store and you're reaching for the candy and your mom's like, whoa, what are you doing? I told you not to rob the candy. And then you still do it. That's not a mistake. That's just you robbing the store. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So that's why I think it's just girls are attracted to games.
I think it depends on the stage of your life that you're in as well.
Yeah.
So maybe a girl in her early 20s might be addicted to the chaos and everything.
And to be fair, most of the girls I date are.
AKA maturity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess girls, isn't it girls like mature slower than guys or something? Or
No, the other way around.
Is it the other way around?
I don't know if that's true in LA.
Really? You think girls are more immature?
Although
here?
there's some
Oh,
immature
100%.
guys.
Than the
in LA,
guys?
too.
Than the
Think of
guys?
some of our friends. bro.
The problem is this, and I think, there are arguments about this. There are like several podcasts that have, argued about this. It's, we had this discussion with regards to how men are naturally, and what women have done has made us become these like just fucking evil human beings. It's like I used to be really nice. Like how long have I known you?
Probably nine. Probably when I first moved here.
Like a decade or something.
Yeah.
So I used to be really nice.
You're
really
not nice anymore?
No.
Oh.
I'm like the biggest. I'm the biggest asshole there is.
Lies.
And it's like no, it's a true story. When I was in my 20s, up until probably like I would say mid 20s, right? I was super nice. I would still meet, like if you talk to CJ, he'd tell you like he's had conversations with people that he used to be like, yeah, like Mo used to be like the nicest person,
And now he's awful.
and he's just like, and it's like what the amount of cuts I've had to endure in my life.
You got jaded.
It's just like it like how much can you take as a human being to realize that you being nice is not a positive attribute, and it's like a negative one.
So it's like you believe that the nice guy finishes last type of thing.
Oh, 100%. It's just
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And that reality starts to creep in to people who haven't even grown up yet, right?
Right.
Like I recognize that my niceness didn't go away.
Right.
It's still within me.
That's who you are.
I just mask it.
Right.
So when I'm in a relationship, I'm super nice. I'm still doing every single one of those things, but if you're a teenager, if you're Gen Z, you're growing up, and now all of a sudden you're hearing all these things, and you're like, your personality is just starting to develop, and you're like, don't be nice. Nice guy finished last.
Yeah. But maybe the nice guy finishes last with the wrong girls. But maybe now you're going to be mean to the right girl.
But how many women are supposed to be wrong for the right person to come along? At some point you start to realize that just it just isn't working. And so you start to change because that's the only way.
Yeah, I have said that about guys. Say guys that lead with, in LA particularly, what they have and their wealth and their money and stuff. For me, that's a huge turn off. But I feel like it's the girls that have conditioned the guys to act that way. So in a way, I do think that like your experiences with girls have made you say not be as nice as you used to be. But I feel I do think sometimes it comes from the girl, like the issues we have with the guys originates with the girls. You know, so say the girls, most girls want a wealthy guy or whatever it is in LA, so now the guys in LA lead with that, but then they meet somebody who doesn't like that, it doesn't work for them, you know what I mean? Or it's like a turn off.
It was so crazy, like moving to LA from Wisconsin and just seeing like I would hear guys talk in the most cringy way.
Yeah, that's what I think.
We're just so obviously brag, like,
Yeah.
like, do you like movies? Yeah, I know Robert Johnny Jr.'s nephew, blah, like all this stuff, right? And I remember thinking, that's the cringiest thing.
Me too.
And then I would see them, the girl likes them all of a sudden. And I would even see girls complain about the guys. Oh, he's so cringe. And then they're with them. And I'm like, you said he was cringe. Like, what do you mean? So I agree with you. It is kind of like that. Like, you kind of have to do it.
But it's the girls that have made the guys think that that's what the girls want.
Because it is what the girls want.
But not all the girls.
Yeah.
I'm from Ireland, so I find it cringy too. It's like we don't really have much in Ireland, you know, to be showing off. So it's a total different thing when you come here and everyone's like leading with. Like I met a guy the other day. Obviously, I'm in a relationship, but he tried to talk to me, and he was like, "Let me bring you to Nobu. Let me do this for you. Let me like." I was like, "I'm in a relationship. Does your man do this for you? Does he do like?" I'm like, "That's not what I'm looking for, or what I want. You know, what I want in someone." So
Yeah, but see that this is exactly what I'm talking about.
But I know
like,
it works for other girls.
You've got people that now go around advertising that you should be that girl that does want to go to Nobi and does want to, you know, get this gift and, you know, have a guy who drives like this car and that car. What is her name? Sophia. Yes. Right. Like the videos of her popping up talking about fucking Birkin bags and like, let me see your fucking bank statements and like fucking like if you take me to Applebee's, it's like fucking over. And it's like, bitch, you belong in fucking Applebee's.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I like her, but I know what you mean. I like the girl with the Cheesecake Factory video as well.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Where
I
she
saw
was,
that.
yeah, she was so upset that a guy tried to take her to Cheesecake Factory on the first date. She made a video like making fun of him. Basically, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it's crazy. Like, it's just insane.
I don't think it's that crazy though. Like, I agree, it's like too bad that the world is this place, but like it's the same for guys. Like, here's what I think. Clout and money is to girls what looks is to guys.
That's what I said to someone the other day as well.
See, you're smart. You're smart like me.
I was like, if you go for a girl only because she's beautiful, what's wrong with the girl going for you because of your money then in that situation or whatever, you know? But I don't know.
Yeah, because like the truth is, you could find a girl who doesn't care about money. If you could just go date an ugly girl, she's not going to care. Take her to Applebee's.
But I don't care about money like that. Because I believe in my own ability to make money and my own ability to succeed.
Is the guy you're dating now well off financially? No. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Why?
Just knowing you, I would have thought that would have been the
opposite?
So, yeah.
Really?
No, I'm just surprised.
That's judging a book by its cover.
I'm just surprised because it's like, okay, you're an attractive girl. You have a lot of pool to a lot of different guys, right? Obviously, for most girls, I do think connection, confidence, that's like the most important thing to them. But it's like, okay, if you could have connection and confidence and money.
Yeah, it's a bonus if that was the situation. But that sometimes these rich guys don't have a personality, you know, or they think their money is their personality and they're not funny or they're not charismatic or, you know, so. Yeah,
I always get nervous if a girl likes me for my personality instead of my money, though. It's kind of like a red flag a little bit.
Why?
I had this argument with this girl the other day because she's saying, oh, Zach, are you worried girls going to want you for your money? And I was like, isn't that better? Because this is the truth. People say, oh, well, what if your money goes away? Then she's not going to love you anymore. I'm like, okay, let's go back to reality, not Disney brain that all you guys live in, this fake reality. In real life, how many times have you heard a girl say, oh, I broke up with my guy. Oh, why'd you guys break up? Oh, he lost all his money. I've never heard that
I've
a
never
single
heard
time
that.
in my life. But how many times have you heard this? Oh, I broke with my boyfriend. Why'd you guys break up? I just lost the connection. I hear that shit all the fuck. Because girls can control that, right? If a girl told me you lost all your money, I'm like, no, I didn't. Here's my bank account. Boom. You can't lie about it, right? A girl could just wake up one day, spin around 3 times. I lost the connection magically. Like she could just make it up. Like I have no control over it, you know? And even if I lost my money, it's like, boom, get a good job. Boom, start another business. Like you can make it back. Like you can like, but if you lose a connection, you're fucked. There's nothing you can do. Yeah.
I agree.
Funny stuff.
See, I'm right.
Final question. Is the green bubble a red flag?
What's the green bubble? You mean on an iPhone?
Yeah. You get a guy's talking to you. He texts you. All of a sudden, the bubble's green.
No, you have a green bubble.
Uh-huh.
No. Why would that be a red
No,
flag?
don't say just because he has a green bubble.
No, I know, but I noticed when I texted you because I didn't know if it went through or not. But I thought I might be blocked. I don't know.
That's funny.
No, I don't think so. Why would it be?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I still don't understand the green bubble.
You don't have an iPhone then?
You have an iPhone?
I do, yeah.
So when you text a guy and they have an Android, like would you date a guy who has an Android?
So the boyfriend I'm dating with now has Android.
Uh-huh.
No way.
But it's not like a deal breaker or like
Right.
any problem. We just get addicted to Apple. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys
Exactly.
both like broke guys. Crazy.
I like sense of humor is the most important thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank
You've been absolutely
Thank you.
fantastic. Love these conversations.
Me too.
That was fun.
Thanks for watching.